First one was actually really nice.
Hello guys, welcome to episode 2 of apartment hunting in New York City. It's Sarah and James, and today we are going into Brooklyn, specifically Williamsburg, to see a few apartments. There is an injury that happens later, so unfortunately it is a slightly shorter video, but we'll also be hitting the border of Greenpoint and Williamsburg near the end, so stay tuned and thank you guys for joining on the apartment hunt. Hello guys, welcome to yet another day of apartment hunting. We are in Williamsburg today and we're going to our first showing. It's actually at the Bedford Ave, which is, I would say, like prime Williamsburg. We used to live here and I miss this area, but we are going to our first showing. I'm here with James.
We are in our old stomping grounds. We would love to move back here. I love this area, but we'll see how the apartments are.
Anyways, that's all for now. It's a little bit chaotic because we're out on a Sunday. Sundays are prime time, so everyone's out right now. So it's a little bit tougher to talk to you guys.
That every cafe is that they just give you the coffee without the lid on it, and I realize they're outsourcing their labor to you so that they save time and they can serve more customers, because then you just take it to the self-service counter and you put on the lid and then they save a bunch of time. So
it's very smart of you to realize.
Are you flirting with me? Alright, so we're walking through Williamsburg right now to the next location. I thought I'd give my thoughts on the first one. The first one was actually really nice. The window was huge. It felt really nice. It was south facing with pretty unobstructed view. I mean, the view is not the greatest part, but the sunlight's not obstructed. And then the lime wash, I think, made it really nice. I feel like the owner, it was because there's an owner listed one, not a rental building. I feel like they put a lot of their own taste into it. So while it's a normal luxury building with the usual luxury finishes, the lime wash was really nice. And then they had this interesting pendant lamp thing that they did. And it seemed like they didn't want to change that at all. They wanted to keep all the decoration stuff they did intact. So I actually quite liked that one. It was just kind of small, 650 square feet, but I did like it. I don't know. I guess we'll have to think about that one. But yeah, that's it. We're just cutting it close on every single viewing that we have. Sarah was trying to be very mindful of my time because I have some stuff to do. So we're just trying to hit apartment after apartment, and then we'll probably get a coffee after again.
Yay. Yay! Unit 2!
Unit 2, Unit 2, Unit 2.
showings that we've seen.
It's really nice actually.
It doesn't even show how big the windows are, but they're really tall. James is 7 foot tall, so for reference.
Probably like 20.
Yeah.
Sorry, door's closing. I can't hear you anymore. Oh, it's actually quite bright because of the white building bouncing off light. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of rode off north, but this one, because the windows are so big, it's not.
It's not as big of a deal. I will say that that bright white is so bright.
Hanging on a, is that Maui Wowie? Was it worth it?
How much aura did I gain there?
0.
10,000 aura points? Guys, comment below if I gained aura or lost aura. Please tell me I gained it.
Hello, it's your favorite, Sarah and James. You guys will see in this video, but unfortunately an injury did occur later into the video. So we are just gonna do a little bit of like the talking in our static position at home.
Sarah can insert the clip of her injuring me, but she pushed me and I rolled my ankle because of that. So let the record show.
How crazy that you get done dirty in every single video.
I did myself dirty.
I think I liked apartment 2, but because it was north facing, I was a little bit reserved and hesitant because it was on a sunny day, and on a not so sunny day, a north facing apartment is just way more dark and gloomy. I'm trying to think if I have anything else about apartment 2. I don't think it really spoke to me as much as, you know, apartment 1, but then apartment 1's too expensive.
Yeah, I agree. I liked apartment 1 better. Apartment 2 was interesting in that it had a lot of storage, which was nice. It's one of those, like, the owner is leasing it out, so it had a lot more of those, like, long-term living type of things. So it had a pocket door to save on space. It had, like, huge closets. It had so much, like, kitchen storage as well for this amount of space that there was total. So it was nice, but yeah, the north facing wasn't great. And the white building across from the street was so bright because it reflected the sunlight. So that made it bright, but, like, it hurt to look outside because the building is so prominent, the white building. Dog Club Adidas on the jacket. And then I never go ones on underneath, but just like a t-shirt. Hard copy. And I genuinely went Studio Jump. Bag from?
Last video we bought our baby cups that so
Beanie from? John Elliott. John Elliott.
Coffee demolished. This is fantasy. Hello. I love pigeons, guys. Be nice to pigeons. They're so sweet.
See that one in there?
Oh yeah. Aw. Oh hi. Hello. Pigeons are so beautiful. No one can persuade me otherwise.
I would have never tried to.
Hello. We're going to this next place, which also has really big windows, and I noticed that all the ones that we picked out today, James is telling me to slow down. I realized all the units that we chose to see today just happen to have really nice windows, and I think in Williamsburg, a lot of places are either like new builds, luxury buildings with nice big windows, or lofts, or maybe more old units or converted factories and stuff. At least like that's what we've seen. So I'm excited for this one because the windows look more unique and a little more European. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it. Okay guys, editing this part is kind of triggering because we actually walked 20 minutes to visit this unit. It's a little bit further out from the subway, so we took a nice little stroll. And first of all, our microphone was off, so none of the audio got recorded here. But then secondly, we got there right on time for the open house and the agent just was not answering. So I texted him, I rang up the apartment, and we also ended up calling him after standing there for 10 minutes. And he picked up and told us the open house was already over. And mind you, I had confirmed just that morning that we could come there at that time. So I was very, very livid, and you probably can tell that I was extremely disappointed. But yeah, unfortunately, we were not able to see this unit. I really liked it from the photos, though. This is what it looked like on Street Easy, but alas, I guess we will never know what this apartment looks like on the inside. Williamsburg is so expensive, you guys. I literally don't know how Williamsburg got so expensive because when we first moved to Williamsburg, maybe in like 2021, it was so much more affordable. Our first apartment in Williamsburg, well, my first apartment was like $3,400 split between two people, me and my roommate. And then James had an apartment for like 2,000 something.
2,700 split between two people.
And then our second apartment together in Williamsburg, which we moved into like 2023, was around 3,500 for a lofted one bed and
3,400.
Oh yeah, 3,400 for the first. And that was us being competitive, adding like $100 more.
Yeah, it was originally lower priced.
Yeah. I wanted to do a story time on why Williamsburg is our top choice neighborhood, despite it being way more expensive than when we first had moved to Williamsburg. But last year we had moved out of our Williamsburg loft that we lived in for almost 3 years. And before that, we had lived in Williamsburg separately for around 4 years total. I think we just have a lot of like formative memories in that area. I am kind of scared that we are getting priced out, and a little bit of me regrets letting go of our old apartment, but we kind of had to last year.
Yeah, I feel like that apartment was nice, but we left for a reason too, so I don't think we would have been happy there anyways. I think one reason we really like Williamsburg too is the walks we would take, and it's just so diverse there. I feel like we got to experience a lot of different things just through exposure. Obviously there's a huge like Puerto Rican history in that neighborhood. Literally Graham Avenue, it's also like Avenue of Puerto Rico, I think, right? But then if you go a little further south, it very quickly turns into the like Hasidic Jewish neighborhood. And yeah, I just have like very fond memories, just basically becoming myself, becoming an adult in that neighborhood. I would say the zoning laws in Williamsburg are not as strict as like somewhere more historic like Brooklyn Heights or those like designated historic streets, but it is a lot more like regulated and restricted than like downtown Brooklyn, which basically has no restrictions on how high you can build up, which is why you see so much skyscraper development stuff there. Whereas in Williamsburg, a lot of it's just like 2 to 3 story buildings, and there's like one-off like 5 to 7 floor condos that have popped up. But for a lot of the parts, there were some clips where my mic was off, so that video didn't get to talk more about it. But I was basically showing how side by side there's like these classic Williamsburg buildings where it is lower to the ground, and I think that lends itself to making it feel more like family friendly, and it doesn't feel like I'm living in such a like hectic city. It feels like I'm living around like young families, and actually older families too. Like you see a lot of older people walking around the neighborhoods too. I think it's a little bit smaller because of like the gentrification, but there's been a lot of like Polish people there, a lot of Italian people there. There's like a very rich history of different ethnicities there, so that's like a huge part of why I like Williamsburg too. It's just very different than anywhere else I've ever lived. So yeah, I think that's among New York, like that's my number one neighborhood that I like.
Hello everyone, the New York City Police Department would like to remind you to keep your belongings inside and stay aware.
I think this area is a little bit harder to get to, which is why this unit has been sitting on the market for a little bit of time.
Also, the expressway is really close, so it's very, like I can really hear it still.
Yeah.
It's the pop star that was really mean to a child. Chapel.
Oh my god.
Hello.
Hello. We're on our way to, I guess at this point it's what, like apartment number 3, because the last guy hasn't seen my wrath.
Guys, don't look at my forehead.
Don't look at my forehead. We're literally two like balding
We're
people,
one gust of wind away from losing aura.
Anyways, we're going to the next apartment. I'm excited about this one because it's like a loft style apartment, and I think there's more potential if the guy shows up for us to maybe consider this one. I don't know. We literally walked 20 minutes to see this last one. I'm so upset. I'm so upset.
The last one was 240. We were there at 240.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, and then he didn't really have an explanation. We're like, okay, you definitely left way before 240 because we would have seen him.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh well.
By the way, James has a running series. Well, he doesn't publicly share it, but he has this running album of doors of Williamsburg. I guess this one's going in. It's a nice door.
It's a cool door.
Yeah.
I like doors in Williamsburg. It's my special interest.
Bad boy. Bad boy.
Easter, bye-bye.
Bad boy.
Bye-bye.
Bad boy. This one's really big. Oh, whoa. Skylight. Yeah, ceiling windows. Wow. Lots of storage. An upper storage. Another skylight. Yeah. Oh yeah, nice. Wow, this one's really big. Very interesting. This one was so interesting. Kind of like felt like a storefront as well. Like could be a cafe, like a little hidden cafe vibe. Fun fact, we actually applied to an apartment in Williamsburg a couple of, I want to say weeks ago, back when we knew we needed to move out because of our apartment. Flash apartment photo here. I think I complained in the last episode about how quickly things go right now in New York City, but this is an example of why I think it's kind of ridiculous right now. We saw this apartment come on to Street Easy, and it's a building that both of us love. Like, we have a friend that lives there. It's a lofted space. I might throw some photos if I'm not trying to actually. Yeah, let's call them out.
I was thinking about being a Karen and reporting them to the housing authority because I was so pissed off at them. Do you want to describe it?
Yeah. Basically what happened is this apartment came onto the market, and then we knew we wanted to live there. And then within 5 hours of it being listed, it got delisted, but we had messaged right before that. And by then already 3 applications had come in. And so we were really trying to get ahead of the curve. And so
Which, by the way, that means no one had seen it in person. They only saw a video and decided to apply.
Yeah, because it was day of. And then we decided to pay the application fee, put in our application. And then a day later, or actually a couple of days later, we were like, hey, just want to check on the status. And the guy was like, oh, we're thinking of turning it into a 3-bedroom, which, by the way, it doesn't make that much sense to configure it as a 3-bedroom. Like, I don't even know where they would throw a 3-bedroom unless it's like flexing the living room. But anyways, James has been on that for like weeks now.
The catch with that unit was that it was a rent stabilized one. So we tried to do the thing where you bid up the rent, which I know like people are like, oh, bidding up rent, that's crazy. But we offered like 50 to 100 more, I forget. But they were like, because it's rent stabilized, we're legally not allowed to accept that. Like, the price is fixed at what it's fixed at. And so I think what they did was they just realized how much demand there was for this apartment. So we kept following up, and this guy was like, okay, so now the landlord is considering turning into a 3-bedroom. Would you be interested in that potentially? And we're like, maybe, depends on the price and like what that means. It doesn't make sense for that unit. Basically, I kept following up like, hey, any verdict on that? And then recently, after following up many weeks, we saw it listed on Street Easy
For 1,200 more.
yeah, for 1,200 over what it was, just because they added like a flex wall, I guess.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. It's not legal to do that on a rent stabilized unit if they didn't fulfill certain like square footage additions to like make it effectively actually like an addition to the unit. So I was like, should I report them? Because they pissed me off so bad, because I'm like, dude, you guys got so greedy. You like listed it for such high rent. You're like breaking the law basically on a rent stabilized unit. I don't know. I just didn't report them. I just decided not to, I think.
Yeah. We were very discouraged. And then after that, we started actively looking and touring places, which is why we have been doing full days apartment hunting.
Quick thing while we're on the application fee that you mentioned earlier. We saw some comments on the last video where you guys were like $2,000 for an application fee. Ridiculous and illegal. But unfortunately, it is ridiculous, but it is not illegal, because we were looking at a condo building where it's like all owned by individuals, and that $20 rental application fee limit is only in effect for rental buildings. If it's like a co-op building or a condo building, they can kind of charge whatever they want.
Hello, lots of highways.
Guys, remember what I said about the BQE and emissions?
In the last video.
In the last video? Same thing here.
Windows are nice. Wow. Nice.
I saw there's two snake. Oh yeah, it's really sunny in here.
Guys, James is injured.
It hurts so bad.
I'm so sorry.
It went fully like,
Ooh.
it was on the smallest like drop off on the concrete thing too. It wasn't even that bad.
Oh, I'm so
But
sorry.
my shoes are so blocky that like I feel like if you have one rotation point, it just will fully. So that's what happened to my ankle.
No. I feel so bad right now.
When you play basketball, you just walk it off and then you play again.
No way.
Yeah, you do. It's fine.
Okay.
It's like a mild. I twisted it. This ankle is a bad ankle. I've twisted it a lot in my life. So.
I feel like you should be
Be more careful. I was literally just saying. I was
You should
bronking
be
or
more
some shit like that.
careful.
I was like Das rockin'. I was making that joke because we were joking Das rock, and I just immediately. Oh my god, that hurts so bad.
Oh, I'm so sorry, babe.
So this is love. So this is love.
Guys, James is struggling out here.
It's a tiny bit less than the first bit.
That's good. We can always go back home. You don't need to keep doing this.
Okay. We gotta keep you guys fed with content. We haven't finished out our discussion of everything.
Good thing we finished our showings for today, because there's no way we could have done like the rest.
I blame that guy who was late. I feel like the butterfly effect of things, this wouldn't have happened if he didn't.
Yeah.
Flick on us. My girlfriend hit me. Help.
Do a like knee review, ankle review.
Yeah, knee review.
Okay.
Knee review, it's shitty. Or ankle review.
Bye. I'm gonna get coffee. Has left her 4-year-old at like a park, because I'm so like nervous for some reason. Like I'm worried for him, and I'm like, what is he doing right now? The sandwich was taking so long. I know I just went for coffee, but I ordered a sandwich too because I figured we both are kind of hungry. Oh my god, I don't know how this day took such a turn. I feel so bad.
Alright, so I'm sat up here in McCarran Park by myself while Sarah gets coffee. My ankle definitely still hurts a bit, but I definitely can't walk on it too much right now. I feel so stupid. It was literally like a 0.5 inch drop off on the sidewalk where my ankle twisted. I do have a bad ankle. Like this is a re-injury of an ankle that I've sprained like 2 or 3 times already. Most recently, I twisted it while running. There was like a much bigger divot in the sidewalk. It was fine since then, but my ankles are kind of weak. So that's basically what happened. Like it's not even a freak accident, it's just like a ridiculous minor incident. and literally like the smallest drop off in the sidewalk caused this to happen where I can't really walk that well right now. I think we'll just finish it out here and then talk a bit and then go home. But yeah, I feel a little embarrassed, not gonna lie.
Last episode, you guys also asked for some apartment hunting tips and tricks. My first tip and trick is always ask for concessions, especially if it's an apartment that has been on the unit for a long time. Our current apartment that we're in, we actually asked for a $500 discount because it had been on the market for a while, and the landlord did give it to us. And I think that's something that people don't think to do, which is like to ask. Also, if you're in a luxury building, sometimes they also do that. If you do ask like, hey, will you do like a 1 month off or some form of a concession if I sign within 24 hours? That's usually something that's enticing, like if you're willing to sign right after. I've also seen different buildings where they won't advertise that, but when you're in person seeing it, they will tell you at the very end of the tour that, you know, they're giving you a $500 gift card afterward, or if you sign within 24 hours. And sometimes I think they don't even say it, and if you ask for it, they will tell you, oh yeah, there is a deal running right now. So just a pro tip, I think this is usually only for like rental units and not really condos and co-ops. So if you find a condo and co-op, it might not be the case, but even if it is like landlord owned, sometimes they are willing to give a concession if you have a good move-in date or something like that. Like you can always try to like spin little things, which is also why we have been seeing places slightly above our bracket just in case we show up and there is a little bit of a discount or we can like finesse something. But yeah, that's just a pro tip.
One addendum to what she said there on the concession stuff, that usually tends to run in like off-peak seasons. So you'll see concessions often for like in January, they'll do like, I don't know, like a 18 month lease where they have like 2 months off or something like that. Because one, they're not really renting that well in that season anyways. So it's worth it to give you that concession and get you in the building. But two, they can do those longer term leases or like 16 or 18 month leases.
Yeah.
So that they, once you end your lease and you want to move out, then you've shifted their lease cycle from January to like, let's say July or June. And then they can now rent that unit for a higher price without concessions. So depending on the time of year when you move here, that's like a consideration of why it's easier to get an apartment potentially in those off-peak seasons. The flip side is that the supply is also worse during that time while the demand is also worse. So it's a trade-off and you never know what you're going to get there. So another one is that you should treat the rental application cycle like a dating profile. Like treat it like you're on a dating app. Basically, in the past, we've applied for stuff before where it's really competitive, and then we put together an applicant cover letter where we're introducing ourselves and like, Sarah and James, we have a cat named Moose, and we'll literally include a photo of us in it. And then we'll be like, we went to this school, we worked these jobs, this is what we do now, like this is what we're about. We have great like history as far as like renting goes. We can provide landlord references. Basically, all these different things sound, I don't know, kind of overkill, but it actually does matter because like high intent and then also trying to like kind of prove that you might be a longer term tenant who's easy to work with. They'll value that more than like some random person who just applied first. You still might get it. So it's really important to like make the case and try to make them understand why you'd be a better tenant or a better fit for the apartment.
Another tip is on top of Street Easy. I know everyone always advertises Street Easy as the place to go. I actually would say there's a small selection of good units that come onto like Facebook. If you're on like a lease break Facebook group, or if you're on a lease break website, or sometimes there's like good units that pop up on like Craigslist or other places. As long as you vet it, make sure it's like a real legit place. And I think that's gonna wrap up this video today because
One quick tip. One last one, because a lot of the units that we saw today in Williamsburg, today being 2 days ago, they were landlords who are individual owners renting out the space versus like the rental buildings that we talked about. And generally those are higher quality because they are made to be lived in long term for the owners. The flip side to that is there's usually a lengthier application process, more application fees, and a higher barrier to entry because of that, and it's more competitive. But the flip side is that you'll usually get a lot more unique units as well as a much better living experience. So that's something you'll want to consider. It's much easier to find a rental building managed by a rental company. It's much more dependable, I would say, and like easier to get in. But if you want that more like unique, nice living experience, it'll be more like a bespoke process where you're like really hunting those down. But yeah, just be aware of that like rental building versus individual owners who are renting out their unit types of rentals.
Anyways, thank you for joining us on episode 2 of apartment hunting. I think we will have more apartment places. I don't know if we're planning to any of the ones today, but thank you for showing up, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.